Hey, welcome back to Star Technology, where in the last video, we made this giant setup. This is 4 large sieves running each of the sievable materials to replace the old sieving setup and complete the last little branch in Ivy. I have been touching this a little bit on my own. You can see I've added a bunch more forge hammers and just generally upgraded everything to EV. It should be enough to run everything. I think the black stone isn't quite quick enough. I could probably double that if I get a Ivy rock crusher, but this is fine. I don't really need much blackstone sieving. And back here, I'm using laser IO now. You guys told me what I was doing wrong. And the big thing is that nodes can have multiple cards can have multiple overclockers, and the nodes themselves can have more overclockers as well. So now all of these nodes are doing, I think, 4 stacks a tick, which if this can fill, yeah, you can see it's very quick. Whereas in the last episode, I only managed to get to like 16 and 10 ticks. Yeah, so laser IO is better. But I still think pipes has its place, because laser IO is still a lot more finicky to set up. I might still be doing things wrong. I know I can get the card holder. I don't know if that has any application beyond just being an inventory for the billions of cards that you have. And it's still annoying to take each individual card, give it all the overclockers, and set the transfer amount and the speed to what it needs to be, and then find the right side to put all the things in so that it's actually extracting or inserting. It's a lot more of a pain than with pipes, so I'm not going to be replacing stuff like this. But if I really need to move a lot of items very quickly, laser IO is the way to go. Anyway, that's enough of that. The plan for this video is to get started on LuV. And I have technically gotten started here. I have LuV circuits already, but I feel like I'm not actually in the power tier until I can utilize it. So I want to get an energy converter and an energy hatch for LuV. Then I'll properly be able to keep going here. And I've marked down most of the things I'll need. I'll need to get a lot of rhodium-plated palladium, because that's the main thing that makes all of the LuV machines. I'm going to need a scanner, because that, again, makes a lot of the LuV things, namely the energy hatch. And I'm going to need a lot of twinite, because that makes the wires of this tier. And which of these takes longer? The rhodium is 20 seconds. Twilight is 70. So I'm going to get the twinite going first. Would it be quicker in the alloy smelter, actually? Probably not. That would be 6 ingots. It's probably a comparable speed. The blast furnace might be a little bit faster because it's doing 2 at a time. Yeah, I'll do the blast furnace. So twinite dust is lumium, enderian, and amethyst dust. Good thing I'm not using the lapidary dynamo anymore to waste all of this. Yeah, just macerate amethyst shards. Makes sense. Just out of curiosity. Yeah, 73,000 amethyst shards. I have enough. And then the dust goes with helium to make the ingot, and in the vacuum freezer with liquid helium. So I should be able to just ask for... how bad would 100 be? It'd take a long time in the blast furnace, but that's not that bad. I don't think I'm going to need 100 though. I'll just go 30. Because I'm going to need the blast furnace for other things soon. Namely, the rhodium-plated palladium. Which I should probably get the recipe for that now. Yeah, it's just rhodium and palladium, so pretty simple. And that goes in the blast furnace with argon, and then just raw in the vacuum freezer. But with the rhodium, I'm going to have to make some of the other things to get stuff like the LuV machine casing. Because I need a recipe for the machine hull. That also means niobium titanium cables. But they use complicated things. I've got the silicon rubber and the polyvinyl chloride. I don't have polyphenylene sulfide? Is that what it is? Yeah, that's the only thing I'm missing. This is going to be complicated. Sodium sulfate, dichlorobenzene and oxygen. That's actually pretty simple. I don't actually have a recipe for dichlorobenzene. I thought I did. Well, how do I get it? Chlorine and benzene. Pretty simple. And how do I get sodium sulfate? Sodium and sulfur. So that's not as hard as I thought. So then to turn that into the sheet, or the thin sheet rather, I need the normal sheet in the fluid solidifier. But I should be able to do that pretty easily. So then in theory, I should be able to just ask for an LuV machine casing now? Yeah. I'm not going to get the rhodium plated palladium for a while. Yeah, but I may as well queue this up now. The twilight's not actually going. There's nothing left behind. Oh, I put it in the molecular assemblers instead of the mixer. Now it's working. Well, I got the LuV machine hull, so no problems with that. I just need to get another rhodium-plated palladium to be able to actually trigger the quest. There we go. 2 quests. So then once I get the twinite, I should then be able to go to the fluorite energy converter, and then I should be fine. Alright, so now I just need to work towards the energy hatch, which I kind of always knew was going to be the big thing, because I need to get a scanner. But scanner's pretty simple. There's a lot of quests that go into this. I didn't expect it to be so simple. One of them being laminated glass, but I can trigger that pretty easily. I can just trigger all of these quests. I need the polyvinyl butyryl bucket. Well, that's pretty easy. Then the plate. Then the laminated glass. That's all easy. I've done this plenty of times already. I just needed to trigger the quest. And then the other thing for the assembly line is raridite ingots. How do I make this? Raridite dust, iridium and ruthenium. The other half of the plat line. It's probably useful. I just haven't seen it show up till now. Yeah, it's useful. So I'll make recipes for it then. It's pretty simple. I already have recipes for ruthenium and iridium. Heck, I'm automating them. And this is pretty cheap in the blast furnace too. So I can probably order up, just go another 30, like with the twinite. Should be pretty easy. Yeah, there we go. And apparently I need that for the assembly line. Also, it looks like the assembly line is, yeah, another big multi-block. This might be where most of my work goes. Oh, and I need a data reception hatch? A data access hatch? I'll just call it a data hatch. Is that? No, it's still got input buses. Don't know what data access is. Also, does it want an input hatch or an input bus? Oh, the input buses have to go on the bottom. Interesting. And then maximum 4 hatches. I guess it doesn't have hatches in the list because it's not in the display here. I don't know. I'll worry about the control block first. But even that doesn't seem that bad. I'm going to need to make a bunch of assembly line casings, just because it's in the multi-block as well. Do I have a recipe for the robot arm? Yes. So I guess I may as well set those going. And then how do I get assembly line casings? Oh, wow. I have a recipe for all of this. Oh boy, is that expensive. Well, I'll make a recipe for it so I can queue it all up. I really hope I don't need too many of these. I think the multi-block takes 5, and the control block takes 4, so I have to do 10, because I can only make 2 at a time. But this is very expensive. Okay, better get this going too then. I've got a bunch of big recipes on the go. I am basically guaranteed to have recipe conflicts here, but I'll wait to see what gets stuck first. Oh god, these are all full, like, immediately. Right, most things seem to be fine. Items have been getting stuck, but I haven't been getting recipe conflicts yet. I also keep running back and forth from the chemical bath to turn it into an ore washer, so I can keep getting some of the platinum going. But most things are just churning away, and I'll check back in on it in a little bit. But for now, I have all the twinite. So I'm going to put it through the wire mill. Then I need the 4 times wires. And, oh, I need an LuV circuit. Yeah, I guess I can queue that up too. I'm already going to be dealing with recipe conflicts. May as well add a couple more. But I think the energy converter's a little while away, because all of this crafting is going to take a long time. Okay, I'm pretty sure a recipe conflict has happened, because things aren't quite lining up, but stuff's still happening, so maybe I'm calling it too soon? I can't tell. Okay, now I feel like most things have stopped, and there's still a bunch of leftover things. So I'm just going to wipe this all and see what didn't work. I didn't get iridium dust. That's fine, I can just restart that. I didn't get epoxy circuit boards, so I'll just re-queue that, fix it up. Yep, and that's got that back on track. And then here, 52 epoxy sheets. But it's still making some. I don't know, it's still going. Then the IV machine hull chloroform. This goes wrong pretty much every time, and I don't know how to solve it. But there's that. Does that let me get anything? No, not yet. But I think, yep, I can make the energy converter now, so that's neat. Okay, I had a few more mixer mishaps. Making nether stars really fills this up with all of the various powders and things to make the elemental charges. So I should probably give this an HV input bus or something. And I've been slowly fixing all the chemical reactor things. And I think that's... not quite everything. Something's gone wrong with the SMD capacitors? Oh. Yeah, it's just another thing. High parallel doesn't let it work sometimes. It's annoying, but, yeah, what can you do? Apparently the parallel control hatches are just kind of broken, and I can't fix that without updating to 1.20, and I don't want to risk corrupting this entire world by doing that, so I'll just deal with the annoyance. It's not that bad, all things considered. Well, I'm just waiting on the circuit assembler to make all of the circuits I need. Then it should make the emitter and the sensors, and that'll make the assembly line casings. Okay, so what else did I need for the assembly line? Because I can actually start trying to make this now. I need to see what the data hatch means. Looks like the EV one might be the simplest. Yeah. Ah, it requires the clean room. Am I going to have to put the assembler in the clean room? I might just put a small one in there. And a data stick? That's not actually that bad. All I'm missing is a NAND memory chip. Yeah, I can probably make that. Well, all of the casings are done, so I can make the assembly line. And I'm just gonna make recipes for all of this. Data stick. I have everything except the NAND memory chips. So I need NAND wafers. Gray lens. How do I get a gray lens? I'm guessing exactly the same way as every single other lens. Yep. Just need to make gray dye. I'll just burn dye essence. What do I need to do for that? Circuit 7. There we go. There's the gray dye. And I can make that lens. And I have one more free input bus here. So I can connect that. So then I can get a NAND wafer. And then NAND chips. And that's an IV quest done too. So I should be able to then make a data stick. I don't think there's a quest for it. And yeah, I didn't make a recipe for the EV input bus. It's so easy for me to just make it myself. And I doubt I'm going to need many of these data hatches. But even if I do, I can just make more EV hatches. They're fine. Oh, wait. Ah, right. I need to grab the old assembler. And I'll just stick it in here. And then let's try this again. There we go. There's the data hatch. Although while I was making that, I had a thought. Yeah, the scanner doesn't actually need the assembly line. Nothing here needs the assembly line. I don't know why the scanner was locked behind it, but I don't think I actually need to make the assembly line for now. I will need to soon, because this has a lot of very good recipes in it. But for right now, I just need to get the energy hatches. So for the scanner, I already have everything. I just need to set it going and hope I don't get any recipe conflicts again. It should be fine. I'll have to wait and see. Although it's not a great sign that this isn't working, but it still has stuff in it. Something's had a recipe conflict, which I think would be allyl chloride. And Maybe epichlorohydrin? Yeah, that seems to be coming up too. That seems to be all I'm missing. The iridium dust recipe has been ruined by something as well, but that is a lot easier for me to just cancel and have it restart. But that is everything I need for the scanner. So then I should be able to make the LV energy hatch, or LUV. So I should be able to just put this here, and hopefully it just works. Let's see. The LUV energy hatch. I can make it in the assembly line. This very well could be the intended method, but this way could be easier? I'll see. I don't have any spare IV energy hatches, but I should be able to make them reasonably easily. So then it shouldn't be much harder for the LUV energy hatch. Yeah, I just need the stuff for the data stick as well. Let's see. I only need one to trigger the quest, and I can make the rest on my own. Well, before I worry about that, I have to worry about why this isn't doing anything. It didn't import it. I have the data stick. Oh, but I don't have the energy hatch? Where did that go? I don't know, I'll make another one. The IV energy hatch. And then just put it in the scanner? Yeah, it seems to work. I don't know why this didn't do anything. Oh, wait a minute. Didn't make anything? Oh, is that how you get the data stick with the construction data? Because to make the energy hatch, I needed a data stick with the construction data on it. Requires research, yeah. That must be what the scanner does. It doesn't make the energy hatch, it does the data stick stuff. Ah. Okay, so I do need to make the assembly line. Well, I feel like I've done the hardest part of it already, so let's just crack out the rest of this. I need 2 energy hatches. I need an output bus and 4 input buses. Does it really need to be 4? I guess so, because all of these blocks have to be input buses. Then I need 10 laminated glass, 8 assembly line gratings. I'll have to make those manually. And 14 solid machine casings. Also gonna have to make those manually. Okay. Probably the same with the assembly control casing. Ooh, yeah, that's gonna be a fun recipe. How many of them do I need? 5? So that's gonna take a long time to make. I also saw, yeah, Ruridit gears. I have a bunch of the ingots. I need 6 gears, so that's 24 ingots. But that should be on the way. Make the assembly line grating now. How many of that do I need? 8. Those are pretty simple. And then last, the 14 solid machine casings. Those I'm basically just going to need the steel frames. But it's not that hard to make all 14 of them. So I'm just waiting on the robot arms for the assembly control casings. And the IV energy hatch, just for the energy hatch. But it seems like, yeah, things are stuck. The chemical bath again. I have to keep switching the modes. Well, while I wait for all of that to go through, I'm going to see what else I need for this. Now, the one thing I'm not sure about here is if the data stick is consumed for this. It might honestly be easier if it is, but then I'm going to have to change a lot of things. I'll make one, and then I'll determine if the data stick is consumed or not. For now, I'm going to act with the assumption that it isn't. So everything here, I have a recipe for, except ludicrous voltage coils. And these are samarium and osmiridium? I don't have either of those. How do I get samarium? Centrifuging rare earth. That's what gives me samarium. Okay. So then, oh yeah, I've already got a bunch of it. And then the other thing was the osmiridium wire. How do I get osmiridium? Osmium and iridium. I don't know what I expected. Although, that requires LUV. I think I can do it in the alloy blast smelter then. Because that one I can overclock. Unlike the mixer. But then I can get that osmiridium wire. And that can get me the ludicrous voltage coil. So I can get the LUV energy hatch. So, I should have everything I need for the assembly line now. I just need to actually build it. Although, I don't have room for the assembly line. I need to expand this out a bit further. There we go. There's a new platform. Looks a little bit misshapen. Yeah, it's 13 wide. I think I did my maths wrong here. There we go. That's fixed. Okay, so how does this look? I think I'm gonna put this here? Yeah, I need to get more pipes. I'm gonna have to place this on top of pipes. No, I'll just run the pipes underneath the ground. So I need to place it like that. Output bus there. Input buses along the bottom with the pipes. Then the assembly control casings in the middle with the laminated glass either side. And assembly line casings on top. Then the control block goes there. Data access hatch probably goes there. I don't think it matters too much. And the rest of it, assembly line gratings. And where does... the input hatch goes on the bottom bit. The energy hatches are on top. I think I'll put the input hatch there. That should work. Although, invalid structure. What's wrong? Do these blocks have to be facing in that direction? No. I'm just gonna make the whole structure verbatim and see what happens. Nothing. Let's see if Google can help me here. Apparently I need input hatches along here. I'm guessing one input hatch for every input bus. I think I need them like that. No. Google might be taking me on a bit of a rabbit hole here. I've ended up in the GitHub for Greg Tech. I think I've gone a bit too far. Oh, I think I found the problem here. I have to use ULV input buses. And presumably ULV input hatches as well. No, hatches can be anything. Oh yeah, because they're already only a single input. No, but it allows the quadruple and non-uple. Yeah, because the way this works is that it needs specific items in each slot. So I need to get a bunch of ULV things. I can make the ULV input buses reasonably easily. There we go! It's made it! Ha! It had to be ULV. Okay. But that means I need a specific item in each slot. But I'm hoping if I'm just careful about how I make the pattern, it shouldn't matter. Because the patterns place the items in the order they are in the pattern. I've used it before to try and fix some recipe conflicts involving silver in the mixer. But that should hopefully be all I need to try and automate this. I've got the data stick in the access hatch. I need an import bus and then just connect it into the ME system. So then if I put the recipe in there, what happens when I order it up? It's gonna have to make all the stuff I need, but that shouldn't be a problem. I haven't tested a lot of this stuff, so I'm hoping... right, the osmiridium, that would be on the wrong circuit. That would be on 12? Yeah, 12. I've made just about everything else that I need. I hope it hasn't put anything into the assembly line yet. It shouldn't have. No, it hasn't. Good. Oh, wait. The assembly line's not going to be long enough. Hang on, cancel that. I need to extend this by one more block. Thankfully, I have most of the things that I'm going to need for that. I need to extend all of this out. I don't have spare assembly line gratings, but everything else I can put in place. I just need 2 more assembly line gratings, and that should... Yes, that does form the multi-block. And let me see, is that what I need for this? It's got to make the osmiridium to make the ludicrous voltage coils. Then it's got to make the last HPIC chips. Ah, shit, this needs the LuV assembler. I thought something was too good to be true. Okay, cancel it. Again, the LuV assembler, it needs the assembly line. Oh god, this is getting way more complicated than I thought it was going to be. I don't think I have time to make this, actually. Yeah, this is getting quite involved. I think I've bitten off more than I can chew going for the LuV energy hatch, but I still got LuV power, so I still have that as somewhat of a consolation prize. And I guess the product of the video was just getting an assembly line in the end. It's gonna need to be longer, but I don't have time to keep going here. I could probably make the longer assembly line, but the process... Oh my god, what have I just seen? The process of just making the LuV assembler to be able to make the energy hatch. Yeah, it's a bit much. That's likely going to be a whole video on its own. probably next video. But we've still made decent progress in LuV anyway. I don't really like that I'm kind of cutting this short. I feel like I haven't given what I promised, but oh, this just feels so far out of reach again. And I'm out of time to record, so I kind of just have to leave this here. Next time we can probably get the LuV energy hatch, probably upgrade some things with it. How hard would the 4A energy hatch be? Oh, nothing. So I can try and get that one too. Maybe upgrade some of the multi-blocks. Yeah, but the assembly line is so much more work than I thought it was going to be. So I'm just going to have to call this video here. I'm still pretty happy with the progress anyway. We've gotten a good ways into LuV, and we have access to LuV power, we just don't have the energy hatches yet. We're close, but I don't have time to finish it out. So yeah, I'm just going to call the video here then. Bye.